June monthly opinions for June 2010 of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book and franchise. The comic book, of course, by Archie Comics. And I just did a review, a two-part review, if you will, on issue 213, just in the same way as I'm doing the opinions via audio. And I have to say there's a lot going on in the Archie universe, if you will, in the Archie Sonic universe, if you will. First of all, 213, like I said, was a pretty good beginning to this two-part miniseries. Now, I know a lot of people probably, if you're new to the comic, you're probably thinking that the way Sally was captured at the end of 213, that, oh, Gary, we've seen the last of her for a while, right? No, she wouldn't. Well, first, no, we haven't seen it because, first of all, she wouldn't be on the cover of 214 if we did. Second of all, Ian Flynn has basically come out and said he's a Sonic Sally fan. And of course, Ian Flynn, despite how you feel about him, and there's many, including myself, that feel as though he needs to do a better job with his writing, Ian Flynn is not stupid enough to do anything to Sally because, as some people put it, Sally is one of his pet projects, is one of his favorites. So he's not going to do anything to her. If anything, just my opinion, Sally's going to find a way to escape on her own, or Nicole's going to help her. Nicole's going to inform Sonic of what has happened, or he's going to find out from Loop where Sally went. So I don't think Ian will do something like that because he ain't that stupid. And first of all, and most of all, you think honestly he'd go on to other stories, if you will, with other characters and have Sonic smiling on a lot of these? If that was the case, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. There's no way he'd do that. I mean, 215 he's smiling, 218 he's smiling. There's no way he'd do that. There's no way. Now, speaking of future issues, and especially next month's issue, I think what's going to happen is they're going to find out, of course, as we all know, that the Dog Egg Legion, just like Sally found out, that the Dog Egg Legion, Eggman Empire is all behind this. And then what's going to happen, just my opinion, is they're going to find out that Drago and Razorclaw, the Grandmasters, who are the Grandmasters of this chapter of the Dog Egg Legion. And of course, we all know that this chapter is going to get defeated. Drago and Razorclaw are probably going to be imprisoned by the respective former clans, or banished forever. So I don't know. But that's just the way I look at it. Just the way I look at it. What would really surprise me, though, with Ian is if he wrote into the story that maybe now is not the best time, if you will, for a new nation, for the Wolfpack to be created, seeing as though they have to fight the Eggman Empire, and this is what they wanted to try to get away from. So, again, it's just my opinion of what I think is going to happen next issue. The following issues, of course, we see that Rotor is back in action, if you will, helping Sonic in trying to free the people of his homeland from the Dark Egg Legion, as well as get help from the Arctic Freedom Fighters. But we also see the return of Silver, and we see that Silver apparently in the 215 and 216 is going to be targeting Rotor. The question is, could Rotor, I guess Ian is trying to throw around, be the traitor that he's been talking about? Could Rotor be the traitor that Silver's been talking about? We don't know. And then, of course, we got 217 and 218, and we see a team-up, apparently, of Sonic and Bunny. Now, Ian has said that this year we're going to find out some origins about Bunny, basically find out where she's come from, and, what her background is. So I believe 217 and 218 is going to be the beginning of that. That will be pretty cool. And apparently, from what some fans have said, it looks like we're going back to Sandblast City, which means, apparently, the villains there, the Sandblast villains, will probably be legionized as well. Because I want you to notice that every main villain, that every freedom fighter group in every part of Mobius, so as as Ian has been writing it, recently, as Ian's been writing it, every villain, every major villain in every region of Mobius has been legionized and has become a Grand Master. So it makes you think. You think if maybe this is the direction Ian wants to go in right now. The legionizing. Because it sounds a lot more threatening and everything, but I don't think this legionizing deal is going to last a lot longer, to be honest with you. And why do I say that? Because you can only legionize so much. I mean, what's it going to take? Is it going to take someone major to be legionized? Is it going to take Robotnik himself to be legionized? Is it going to take Snively to be legionized? I mean, what's it going to take for this whole thing to come to an end? I'll tell you. I've got a feeling this whole legionization deal is going to end in 225. That's right. In 12 issues, basically in a year's time, in 1 year's time, we're going to see the end of this whole legionization deal. Just my opinion. We're going to see the entire end of it. I mean, heck, what's going to happen? Is Fiona going to get legionized? She's so desperate to get vengeance or something? You know, is that what's going to happen? Is the Destructors going to get legionized? I don't think so, but still, I don't think this whole legionization deal or plot that Ian has in the stories now is going to last much longer. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of things have to be answered in the comics. First of all, why legionization? Why go into such a drastic, extreme measure? Second of all, who is Silver going after? And excuse me for doing that. My pinky hit the mic there. But you know what's the big deal? Basically, who is Silver after? Is Rhoda the traitor? You know, a lot of these things got to be answered. What's Lena Dodd gonna look like when she's fully recovered? You know, things like that. What's Dimitri's role gonna be? You know, I've got a feeling that as we get close to 225, that this whole legionization deal, as I said, it's going to come to an end, and Eggman once again is going to be defeated, maybe once and for all, and we're finally going to probably get a permanent new villain in there. Yes, I know some people say that Eggman, that's the Sonic comic, can't exist without an Eggman villain. Believe me, it existed for almost a year with the Iron Queen as the main villain. I think it can exist another year, but I know what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are fearing that if this happens, we're going to get another Iron Queen situation. I don't think so. Ian apparently is plotting and working on something in the background with Fiona and the Destructives. Expect that after this whole legionization deal, this Dog Egg Legion story arc. Because yes, even though the comics are in 2 parts, maybe 3 parts or something like that, it's one big story arc. It's the whole Dog Egg Legion story arc. Despite how you think about it, it's the whole Dog Egg Legion. It's a story arc. I mean, take a look what's going on. I mean, Sonic and the Freedom Fighters have to go basically to region, and every region of the planet they go to, there's always a chapter of the Dog Egg Legion. Think about it. It's just one big story arc after the other. I mean, just a story arc continuing into another 2-part or a 3-part. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's what it is. Ian said that he was going back to short stories. Well, yeah, he's going back to short stories, but it's all one big story arc with the Dog Egg Legion, which I believe is going to end in a year's time in 225. Just my opinion. And I believe with 225, after that, we're going to get a new story arc. We're going to get a new story arc, probably focusing on Fiona. That's what I believe is going to happen. Now, that could happen in this issue, in the main comic, but then again, it could happen possibly in the Sonic Universe comic, so we'll just have to wait and see. But those are just my thoughts of what's going to be happening in the next couple of issues, probably within the next year. Just my thoughts on it. You know, it's just my thoughts on them. And I know some people may disagree. Some people may even say that when we hit 225, that's the it for the comic. The comic comes to an end. I don't think so. Despite how you feel about it, despite what people may say to you about it, it's Archie Comics' best-selling comic to date. There's no way they're going to get rid of it. And also, it's the fact that it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. is one of the longest running comic books based on any kind of franchise. Do you think they're going to get rid of that? Get rid of it after all those accolades and the fact it's one of the best-selling books? I don't think so. Yes, maybe Ian Flynn might be replaced by a different writer within a year's time, but who knows? But, those are just my thoughts on what's happening so far, just my opinions. And you can agree with them or not. Let me know what you think. But again, I truly believe that this whole two-part short story, two-issue stories that we get, these two-part issues and all that, are nothing but one big story arc focusing on the Dark Egg Legion, which is going to conclude in 225. It's going to end it there, and then we may focus mainly on a new villain, maybe Fiona in the main comic, or maybe even in the Universe comic. We'll see what happens, but that's all I have to say. Again, you